Bangladesh's Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has won a fourth consecutive term after the main opposition party and its allies boycotted Sunday's polls. The Election Commission says she secured an absolute majority, but it says only about 40% of voters cast their ballots. The opposition had called for protests, saying the election is a sham. Let's get the latest with Jonah in Dhaka for us. So, Jonah, just how credible is this result?
Well, in one sense, credible, certainly, as the only possible result from this election under the circumstances being a largely uncontested vote. In fact, critics would say an entirely uncontested vote. Independent candidates and smaller parties on the ballot that the government has pointed to as evidence of plurality in the system, critics say, are either allied to the governing party or drawn directly from its ranks. And so, as the result of a democratic contest, not credible at all. And remember that on Sunday at the polling booth, Sheikh Hasina, the Prime Minister, said it was for the people to decide on the credibility of the election by turning out to vote. She made turnout the ultimate benchmark of credibility. Well, turnout is low. Officially, it's been put at around 40%. That's curious in itself because an hour before polls closed, the Electoral Commission said turnout was 27%. And so even by the Prime Minister's own measure of credibility, the election falls short.
So what will another term for Sheikh Hasina look like for Bangladesh?
Her fourth consecutive term, her fifth overall. It has to be said that Sheikh Hasina has presided in the past 15 years over rapid economic growth in one of the world's poorest countries. GDP figures here even in excess of India in recent years. Big investment projects, infrastructural projects have been put into place. 25 million people, according to the World Bank, lifted out of poverty. The economy, though, buffeted by the COVID pandemic and the global slowdown that followed it, the economy forced into a bailout by the IMF just last month. So that'll hamper her ability to appease people who are struggling here now under high food and fuel prices. Above all of that, though, she presides over a bitterly divided nation now. The opposition says tens of thousands of its supporters are in jail. Many people who wanted political change have been thwarted at the ballot box. Few believe the crackdown on political dissent will lessen moving forward. In fact, many fear political violence will only get worse.
Jonah, thank you for that. Jonah live there in Dhaka.